All right, you guys, so here is a free tip. So obviously you have your socket and you need to put this nut in there. But if you take this nut and try to put it in the door, a lot of times what it's going to do, it's going to actually fall out like that. So what I do... Welcome back to Fab Automotive Detailing. You guys, in this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your side mirror on your car. Maybe you broke it, maybe you snapped it off, maybe you hit a mailbox, maybe like on this one, the housing's broke and somebody put rubber in here to hold it. Whatever the case may be, I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, the way that I do it on this Jeep is not going to be the exact way you do it on every car, but it's just the concept is the same. Most cars, you're going to have to remove the door panel, and then once you get door panel off, these are usually held on by 2 or 3 screws with nuts where you have to remove, and there's usually electrical connector because this one is a power mirror with defrost, so it's going to be electrically driven. It's got a motor inside, so you're going to have to be able to do that, but it's not a hard task at all. Because I know a lot of people might think, oh gosh, I got to take it to a shop and spend a bunch of money to get a mirror put on. This is something you can do at home, and I'm going to show you actually how easy it is. So let's do it. All right, you guys, so once again, this is not going to be exact for every vehicle, but it's going to get you close. I have not had the door panels off of a Commander. This is the first time for me, so I'm kind of learning as I do this one. But you're going to have bolts, or screws actually. Here's one right here, as you can see. And then there's normally always one behind the door handle. And they're usually behind these covers. Just grab a pick or a flathead screwdriver and just pull this out. Sorry, the camera work's not going to be that great. I'm trying to see what I'm doing here. This one has a tether on it so you can't lose it, because trust me, people do lose them. And then there is a bolt. I can't really show you guys because the handle's in the way, but there's another one back there. And there's going to be another one right here. A lot of cars, they are down here also. Does not feel like this one has one. Another one thing I want to look at while we're in there is I noticed this speaker is not working. Some cars you actually have to remove this also. I'm not sure on this one yet, but we will figure it out as we go. So in this car, you can either use an 8mm or you can use a Phillips head. And always keep a magnetic tray around to put your hardware in so it doesn't roll off and you lose it. These are all Harbor Freight tools. These are actually really nice screwdrivers from Harbor Freight. These blue ones, these are Phillips head. The red ones are flatheads. These are nut drivers from Harbor Freight. The new ones look different than this. These are pretty old. I've had these forever. This is a magnet tray from Harbor Freight. So, all right, so we'll go ahead and take this. Okay, not an 8mm, dummy. Actually, you know what? It might be a 1/4, which I don't know if I have here at the house. Okay, we'll be doing this with a Phillips head. Phillips head. What Philip ever do to you? You guys remember that commercial from Geico on the radio? He says, "Hey man, hand me a Phillips head," and the little Geico says, or Gecko says, "Phillips head? What Philip ever do to you?" Cracks me up every time my family hears Phillips head. That's what they say because I always say it. Normally I wear gloves, but for some reason I don't have any on right now. It's all right. I'm trying to save them because you can't buy gloves right now. Nobody's got gloves because of this stupid pandemic. Okay, come on, dummy. These are supposed to be a magnetic tip. There we go. Oop. As you can see, these are magnetic tips. They don't work the greatest, but they work. Okay, so that is off. Now the question is, does this need to come up? Just get up underneath it. I got up underneath it with a little pick, actually. You just got to be careful because some cars, these are actually screwed in from the bottom. I know Chevys are screwed in. A lot of Chevys are screwed in from the bottom. And you don't want to break them. Okay. This may not actually come out. Like I said, I've never had one off a Commander, so we're learning together. Yeah, that's hitting right there. That's not going to come out. Okay, so all the screws are out. The door lock, which I don't know if you guys can see, it is not unscrewed. It doesn't feel like, so we're not gonna mess with that. Some cars you unscrew that and then just take that out so you can slide it up. Some cars have hooks. Some cars have plastic rivets, push pins, you know, whatever you want to call it. This one, we're gonna find out. I'm gonna pull out. It's gonna make noise. There you go. A lot of times these break, unfortunately. Hoping this one doesn't. Yep, just as I said that. Because there's like the little cushion to one. That happens though, unfortunately. And usually once you get it to this point, you can actually just lift straight up, typically. Gonna make me a liar, aren't you? Okay, this has to come out because that's really holding me in. Right there. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Let me see if I can show you guys this. So this yellow piece right here is going to be your door handle release. You're going to push in on one side. It's not going to be easy to show you guys in this door. Sometimes you can't do it by hand. You have to get a tool. Nope, there we go. And then you're going to push it aside like that, and then you're going to pull down. That releases that. Now all your connectors are in here. You're going to have to release all these to remove the door panel completely. So we're just going to not be able to do this one-handed, I'm sure. I can't do this one-handed. I'm going to put you guys down. I'll show you guys what I did here in just a second. So here's the inside of the panel. Here's your door handle. What I was talking about, this is that yellow piece right here. It just clips onto the rod. Sorry, I'm probably hitting the microphone. Hopefully I'm not messing it up. This is the bottom of your switch panel, so you do not have to remove your switch panel. And then here are your connectors right here. And this is going to be your door module right here. And if you have airbags in the door, which this one does not, you also have an airbag module and an airbag usually in this area, so you got to be careful. Always disconnect the power before you do it. But here are these rivets. This one broke, as you can see, and this one's not. So they break, unfortunately. Nothing you can do about that. And this one's missing. It's not in the door, so the door's been apart. Which, honestly, I'm not worried about. So this cover here, which we don't have to remove to do this video, so I'm not going to, because you can see it's been removed before, because that's where it should be, up there. Somebody's had this apart, probably put a window regulator in it or something, which is good for me. What we need to get to is right here. So you're going to see there's a bolt in there, another one right there, and probably, dadgummit, the window's going to have to be down to do this. So remember that, roll your window down before you take this, because look, it's behind the glass. So I'm going to have to hook my switches back up to roll the window down. So let me do that real quick. All right, so I got the window all the way down. You're going to need an 8mm. We're going to use a ratchet, a little quarter-inch ratchet, quarter-inch extension, 8mm socket to get to these. And I'm going to show you a trick when we go to put it back in so you don't drop the nuts. You're going to want to take this off. You want to make sure this goes back on because this is a piece of insulation. It's going to ride right here to help keep the water out when the rain comes into your door, because water does go into your door, it just drains out the bottom. So we're going to go in, we're going to remove these. Not too tight. Yeah, if it does drop, it's going to drop down into the door panel. So it's really not that big of a deal if it does drop. I'm glad you brought my fuse, because I blew fuses putting lights in this thing on accident when I touched the lights or the terminals on accident, trying to put little LED bulbs in. Thank you.
Did you grab the exhaust tip out of my?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, while you're here, hold on to that mirror. If you have a helper, that also helps. And you got to take the mirror off. Yeah, Grandma gave you that? Awesome.
Every time she goes to grandma, she gets nail polish.
Okay, that one's probably just going to fall down, which is fine. It's just going to drop into the door. It's not coming off. It's not coming off here with it. Okay, and this one is going to make that mirror loose. Another nut there. Man, I really like to get this one. So, yep, it just fell, as you probably heard. Okay, kind of just shake it, and pull the mirror out. It should come right out. Okay, you gotta make sure you put the wiring back in where it goes. There we go, and the old mirror is off. Here is what it looks like underneath. You can see there's water. See this water right here? It gets trapped underneath of it. I like to clean this up before I put the new mirror on, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do that, and then we will get back to it. Okay, guys, so I got it cleaned up, but as you can see, this is the door. If you didn't see my videos when I detailed this, because we just got this door's been painted, and that's how you know right here. You can see they took the mirror off, probably knocked the mirror off, whatever happened to it. This is a tape line right there. You can see perfect right where the tape was. So I'm not worried about it, but I did clean the dirt off of it. And I want to see if the speaker's maybe not connected from when they did the door work. I'm hoping that's the case, because I'll tell you what, with this Boston acoustic sound system, this sounds really good, but this door is missing any sound at all. Even if you had to do the regulator, you don't really need special tools. I do a lot of window regulators, you guys. Haven't done one in a while. Darn it, it is plugged in. So that nut should be right there. There's the nut that I was after. Okay, we'll be installing a Dorman, and here's the part number in case you have a Commander. It is a heated mirror, so make sure you get that option if you have that option on the car. It's going to come wrapped, pretty typical for a mirror. And there you go. There's the brand new mirror. Ooh, that's what was broken on the other one. You got your wiring, you got your gasket, and then these are going to come off. What these are doing, these are just protecting the threads during shipping until you get it. You just pull these off. And, yeah, sometimes you can keep them. They're good for like vacuum lines and stuff. I definitely won't throw them away. I'll put them in my cabinet. But all right, you guys, so here is a free tip. So obviously you have your socket and you need to put this nut in there. But if you take this nut and try to put it in the door, a lot of times what it's going to do, it's going to actually fall out like that. So what I do is all you need is a little bit of electrical tape, where's it at? Here it is. What you're going to do, you're just going to put this right over the top of your socket. Just rip it off like that. See that? Now you're going to push the nut into the electrical tape, and look, doesn't matter how much you hit it, it is not going to fall out. So there you guys go. That's how I do it. And this is not a two-person job. You can do it on your own. If you'd be more comfortable having somebody hold it while you start the nut on the other side, I definitely recommend that. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to put the wire harness right through the door, and we're going to grab it from the other side. If it would stop popping back out. Grab it from the other side. We're going to pull it through. And we're just going to line up this mirror into the holes in which it goes, which is like that right there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach behind. I cannot see. I'm just going to go by feel and around about where I think it should be. It is easier if you have somebody hold it, though, I'll tell you that much. Now you don't want to tighten it down, just want to make it so you can let go of it. And you can still use the electrical tape. No problem at all. It'll work for all three. And it's basically just reverse of removal. See, that electrical tape sticks so well, it's hard to get the socket off of it. Now remember, this is plastic that you're screwing into, so you don't want to go all Incredible Hulk on it. And this is an aftermarket mirror. To be honest with you, it's not going to look perfect, but it's going to be good enough. Good enough for government work. I don't really care for that little piece of rubber. It's going to stick out, but it'll be all right. And you see I'm using 2 fingers because I do not want to over tighten it and break it. I guess you could always put Loctite on it if you wanted on the threads. if you're worried about not getting it tight enough. That way you know it's not going to go nowhere. 2 fingers, that's how I do like transmission pins, stuff like that, because I know I'm not going to be able to over tighten with 2 fingers. Okay, one more. That's it. That sucker's on there, and it ain't going nowhere. So now, got to put the door panel on, hook my wires all up, and then it's ready to go. Here, I'll go ahead and show you. Make sure you put this back on right where it goes. Just like that. All I do is put your door panel back on, put the screws back in. So one thing I should mention really quick, even though I did not do this, but luckily it works, always test before you put everything back together. I forgot to mention that. So before you go and you put your door panel back on, get your switches hooked up, hold your door panel up, and then make sure whatever you replaced works. So we're gonna see if this mirror will move. As you can see, it's moving. There's to the right, to the left, there's down, there's up. That mirror works. And the defrost won't really know until it's wintertime and it's frozen over, and you start the car, turn the defrost on, see if it de-ices the mirror. So yeah, I figured I'd throw it out there and let you guys know. Always test before you actually put it all the way back together. All right, so we went from this old broken, as you can see, I forgot to show this earlier, broken mirror housing is what this is, to a nice new one in less than 30 minutes. It is not hard at all to do it. It's the first time I've done one of these door panels. That was an easy door panel. There are door panels that aren't that easy to do, but every door panel is pretty much the exact same concept. If you have any questions or not sure how to get your door panel off, I'm sure you can find your make and model online somewhere. Somebody's done it at some point on YouTube, and you can probably look it up and figure out how to do it. One other tip, if you can get your old mirror glass off, try to get it off and save it. If you can get it off. A lot of times they break, but that way if something ever happens to this mirror glass, you have a backup. So I was actually able to remove my mirror glass, as you can see, without it breaking. And what I do is I pull it in, I push from this side, so the outside comes out. I get behind it and I pull. A lot of times these break. There's nothing you can do about that. None of these broke on this one, and I've seen the actual glass break before by pulling it like that. But this one being electric, there's 2 terminals right here. Try to show you guys. Yeah, right there. You have to unplug, and then now you have your extra mirror in case something was to happen to this one. So just remember that's something that could always happen in the future. If you could accidentally break this, you have a backup that way. So don't throw it away if it's good. Plus you have a mirror, an inspection mirror. If you're working on an engine and you can't see something, you can put it underneath there and you can kind of look at it and you can see what you're looking for. So serves 2 purposes. So as you guys saw, that's very easy to do. I know I'm a mechanic. I do this every single day. And a lot of people always tell me when I make videos like this, oh, you made that look so easy. It's not that easy. Before as a mechanic and I saw people do stuff, I was like, oh, that just looks so hard. But once you do it, it's like, okay, why was I worried about doing that? Kind of like polishing a car with a polisher. For the longest time, I didn't use one because I was scared to death to use a polisher. And I finally got one I used and I was like, dang it, I wish I'd done this years ago. So this is something, don't be scared of something like this. It's not hard to do at all. All I have is a Phillips head screwdriver, an 8mm socket with a ratchet and extension, some electrical tape. Don't forget that, so that way you don't drop the nuts when you go to put them back in, because that will drive you nuts, because you have to be taking that speaker out all the time to get down in there and grab that nut and everything else. So just electrical tape always works really good. You can use a magnet also. Electric tape's cheap. Most people have electrical tape. And now we have a fully functional mirror. It doesn't look terrible. That side now doesn't look very good, so I may have to replace that one. Just don't tell Mrs. Fab that yet. But because it's got some scuffs on it, I want to see if I can clean that up. But this looks really good. I was worried. This is one thing that when we got it, I said, okay, we got to replace that. We got this on Amazon for, I think, $60. So I'll put a link in the description of the video where you can find this in case you have a Jeep Commander that needs a mirror. And it'll be on Amazon. I think we paid $50 or $60. It is a Dorman. I don't really care for Dorman parts for the most part as a mechanic, but stuff like this, it works well, and it's not an engine component or anything like that. But this works really well. It looks good. It functions the way it should. And that's really all you can ask for. So I really appreciate you guys stopping by and watching this video. Hopefully this video would help you out. You were searching for how to replace my side mirror and you're kind of worried about doing it. Now you know you can do it. It's not a real difficult task, and I sure hope it helped you guys. If it did, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, join the Fab family. We'd love to have you, and we'll see you in the next video.